Hey everybody, welcome back into yet another fun and exciting Algebra 1 class. Last time that we were in class, we learned about word problems, and we learned how complicated those can be, but we learned how to simplify those a little bit and kind of break them down and follow the steps and put them into equations and then get our answers. Today we're going to kind of take that a step further and do some more word problems, but these ones are going to be a little bit different. These are called, and if you're looking, we are on page number 83 in your books, 83. And that is 2.9, solving mixture problems. What does that mean? Well, sometimes when we have like different values, pounds, ounces, money, cost per unit, things like if you go to the grocery store and you buy oranges and you buy them per pound and they cost you $2.17 per pound. Well, if you buy oranges and apples together, you've bought a mixture of fruit. You bought a combination. So these are combination problems, mixture problems, when you're buying kind of like a mixture of different things in the same thing. All right, so that's kind of the idea here. And whenever we use these, if you look down at the screen, we use something called a chart. And what the chart does is it helps us to organize. And when we get organized with our information, it helps us to see it a little bit more clearly. So what I've done is I've put some things down here. So here's our chart. The first thing that we have is our labels. Our labels is the name of what we're using, oranges and apples, okay? The number of units, how many did you buy? 12, 7, 8. How many did you buy? That's number of units. The value of the units, how much did they cost? How much each? So $6 each. That'd be a very expensive orange, but let's say that something else cost you $6 each. You'd put that number right there. And then the total value would be this column times, so the number of units times the value of the units. How much did you pay per unit? And that is going to give you the total value. Okay, and if you do this, if you lay this out like this, it'll help these questions to become a lot easier. Now, here's a question. If you look, and this example is in your book, pretty close anyways. It's not exactly, I don't think, but if I have peanuts and cashews. Now, I like peanuts and cashews. I like peanuts for the most part. If they're, salted and things like that, I like them. But I love cashews. Cashews are so good. And maybe you've never tried those. Most people have had peanuts before, but cashews, not everybody's tried those. But I love them. I love cashews. And especially when you go to the mall. I got to stop talking about food, okay? Anyways. But maybe you like peanuts and cashews like me. So if you're going to go to the store and you want to buy, but you don't want to buy them separate, the store is selling them in like a mixture. So sometimes you go and you buy mixed nuts together, all kinds of different nuts together. In this case, just peanuts and cashews. And so let's say that you were going to start a store, or you were going to be the one, that was mixing them, and you're the one selling them. You're the vendor. You say, how much do I need to sell them for when I mix them? Well, you can do this and you can figure it out how much you need to sell these for. So if we put it up here, we put peanuts. And I'll just put P for peanuts, okay? And so that first one's peanuts, and then the next one is C for cashews. And so the number of units, well, in this problem right here, a 10-pound, let's do this problem right here, a 10-pound mixture of 8 pounds of peanuts and 2 pounds of cashews. So we have 8 pounds of peanuts and 2 pounds of cashews. Well, how much do they cost per pound? Well, that's right here. Peanuts are $3 per pound. And the cashews were $7 per pound. And that's why some of you have never eaten cashews, because they're too expensive. And I don't eat them very much, but when I do like them. Okay? So what we want to do here is we want to say, okay, then what would be the total value? Well, we just take these two and multiply them together. 8 times 3, and that would be You know, you could write it like 8 times 3, or you could write it 24. That's $24 for 8 pounds of peanuts. For 2 pounds, I wrote that wrong. I'm sorry. I wrote my dollar sign in the wrong place. The dollars was the $3. So the 8 was the pounds. Sorry about that. And then 2 pounds times, that was $7. And so that is going to equal, for those, going to equal $14 for those. All right, now the question comes in now. They want to know how much did that mixture cost? Well, in this one, they actually give it to you. But let's verify that. Let's see if that's actually right. Let's see how much it actually costs. So what we would do is we would take our 8 times 3. That's our peanuts. Okay, so we could write that. Peanuts plus our C for cashews. So we're adding these two things separately. Okay. And so the peanuts cost what? 24. And the cashews cost what? 14. That's right. And that equaled 10 pounds, or this is our X. This is what we're looking for. We're looking for how much the combination, how much that 10-pound combo cost. All right, so we're just going to add these together, and we are going to get $38 equals 10-pound mixture. So if we divide both of those by 10, we are going to find out that the mixture cost us $3.80 for the mixture per pound. That's per pound. Okay. All right. So that one might have been a little complicated for you, but that's how you do it. Put it into the chart, multiply those, get how much each one of them costs separately, and then plug it into an equation. Let's do another one. Mary has 33 dimes and nickels that together value $2.50. How many of each, dimes and nickels, does Mary have? All right, so let's look down here, and I've already got a little chart drawn out. And so we want to know, what is the quantity of dimes? How many dimes does Mary have? Well, we don't know. We don't know how many dimes she has, because look at the question again. Mary has 33 dimes and nickels. So that's her dimes and nickels combined. So we are trying to figure that out. That's our question. That's what we need to kind of investigate here. So how many dimes does she have? We don't know. It's an unknown. So let's call this D for dimes, because we don't know. It's an unknown quantity. Notice the word quantity here. When we don't know, that's a variable. That's an unknown quantity. So we'll call it D. We could call it X, N, whatever we want. Now, remember yesterday, or last lesson, when we talked about this, we said we cannot use a different variable. So in other words, I can't come down here to nickels and write N for nickels. That's not going to work, because that's two variables. So what I have to do is I have to express nickels in terms of D, dimes. So let's go back to the question. So if she has 33 dimes, so we already saw that here. There's our dimes, 33 dimes and nickels. Okay? So what does that mean? That she would have 33 of these two together. So in other words, she has 33 minus the dimes. This would be the nickels. Nickels would equal 33 minus the dimes. Does that make sense? Because we know that she has 33 together. 33 dimes and nickels together. So if we take 33 and we subtract the dimes, we are going to get how many nickels she has. So D for dimes. And nickels is 33 minus D. Why didn't we just write N there? Because we can't. We can't have two variables. We have to express this right here in one variable. So we have a D in both spots. We can't have an N. We can't have a different variable. So that's how we would do that. Now, the value. What is the value of a dime? Well, it is 10 cents. 0.10. What is the value of a nickel? Well, it's 0.05, 5 cents. Okay. And so what is the total value of the dimes? Well, it's 10 cents times D. And what is the total value of the nickels? Well, it's 5 cents times the nickels, 33 minus D. All right, now we would go back up here. Let's go back up here and see. Look, together they valued $2.50. That's important. So now our total value of everything together is going to be $2.50. So that equals $2.50. What equals that? Well, the dimes plus the nickels. So the dimes plus the nickels. Okay, and so the dimes, how did we write the dimes? D. So we just write D. But it's not just D that we had to write. It's this right here, the total value. We need the total value. 10 times D, or D times 0.10 times D, plus the nickels. And that was 5. That was this right here. We need to write this. 0.05 times 33 minus D. All right, and there we go. There is our equation. I got a little fly bothering me. Pay no attention to the fly. And so what I want to do is I want to go ahead now and just combine these like terms. One thing that I can do here is I can distribute. So I'm going to get 10D time or plus. You know, one thing that I might want to do before I even start that, because I just want to get rid of those decimals, right? I don't want to deal with decimals. So if I need to move these all 2 places, I could multiply everything by 100. That's right. So I'm going to get 10D plus 5 times 33 minus D. And you say, you didn't multiply this times 100. Yes, I did, because I multiplied this by 100, and multiplying this by 100 is then going to multiply that because of distribution. Okay, so trust me, I did multiply that by, because this is all one term. Remember what terms are. Okay, so I multiplied that term by 100 equals, and then that's going to be 250. So in my opinion, that's easier to just multiply that through, get rid of all those. And so now we will go ahead and distribute that. So we'll get 10D plus, I don't know, what does that come up to? 165, I think. 165 minus 5D equals 250. We can combine these. And so that's going to be 5D, because we would have 10 minus 5, 5. And then we're going to subtract the 165 from both sides. That's going to cancel that. And we're going to get equals, let's see, 250 minus, what was that, 85? All right. Divide both sides by 5. Cancel. D equals 17. 85 divided by 5 is 17. We have 17 dimes. That's not the whole question. We're almost done. Now we need to find how many nickels did we have. Well, the nickels, if you go back to what nickels were 33 minus D. And so we're just going to say 33 minus 17 now. And so the nickels would be 16. Dimes 17, nickels 16. How can we check that? Well, one way that we could check that is to see if it actually gives us 250. So we do 17 times 10 cents and 16 times 5 cents. Okay, so if you go ahead and verify that, that gives us $1.70 from dimes. And from nickels, that gives us 80 cents. If we take these two and we add them together, we get our $2.50. And so we are correct. Okay, 17 dimes and 16 nickels. If you missed any of that, go back, rewind it, and see what you missed. But the key is, to me, the key here is getting your chart. If you try to do this without the chart, you're going to struggle. You're going to struggle to find yourself. You're going to struggle with getting things confused in your mind where everything goes. So do the chart and work through it that way. Okay? All right. We'll see you later. Have a good one. Bye-bye.